Is Elon Musk's $500 billion fortune immoral? 0207 862 2222 is the number to give us a ring. The Tesla boss is officially halfway to becoming the world's first trillionaire, reaching a net worth of more than $500 billion. But is it right to have that much money? There he is. If I saw him on the tube, I don't think I would assume that he had $500 billion to his name. I even struggle with the million, billion and trillion. Once it gets to those amounts, my brain just goes to mush. Reem, what do you think? Is it immoral?
No, I don't think it's immoral. I think that if people want to work extremely hard and they're able to do that, then absolutely they should be allowed to keep that money. The question is, and I think a lot of the opposition arguments is, these wealthy billionaires are hoarding their money. And this argument falsely identifies wealth as something that is fixed. There is not a fixed amount of wealth in a given economy. There is not a fixed amount of amount of things that people can personally have. What we do want is to grow the size of the pie so that everybody is better off. But unfortunately, the left would rather the poor were poorer so long as the rich are less rich.
Michael?
I suppose, I've got lots to say about this, but first of all, let's just link this to two previous conversations we've had. So your argument was we can't afford to get to net zero because we don't have enough money. Your argument before is we can't afford to have healthier food because we don't have enough money.
That's not what I said at all.
This man
That's not what I said at all, Michael.
£500 billion. How about we distribute a bit of that and we don't give up on net zero and we don't give up on kids having healthy diets?
You just completely misconstrued what I've just said. On the net zero argument, I've said we can reach net zero, but without it making us poorer. The way we reach net zero is not through an arbitrary government target, but through competitive market and energy. I have not said we can't afford to eat healthy food. What I have said is the government implementing bans and buy one get one free will make families poorer. What we should do instead is allow for freer trade so that food produce is cheaper in this country. So do not misconstrue what I have just said, Michael, because
what you were saying... So if you get rid of all the net zero laws, so why would free markets get us to net zero? Because the whole point, this is a bit technical, but in economics there's the idea of the externality. So the consumer doesn't pay it, the producer doesn't pay it. Pollution, basically. So a company is always going to go for the cheapest option. Yes. The consumer is going to go for the cheapest option. That might create loads and loads of pollution, which screws over everyone else. That's why the government has to come in.
We're slightly going back to the previous topics, which I understand they were very interesting. But we are going to move on to money. Essentially, what we're asking here is vast amounts of wealth. Is it immoral? And actually, before we go to a break and take some of your calls, so do call in 0207 862 2222 is the number. I have an image here of the 5 wealthiest individuals. This is from left to right. We have Larry Ellison from... Oh, well, hold on. Let's start with Elon Musk. He is the wealthiest. We've obviously been to him. He's over 500 billion now. Then we have Larry Ellison. He is from a software company, Oracle. He's got 350. You'll recognise... Mark Zuckerberg in the middle there, Facebook's co-founder. Then we've got Jeff Bezos, who used to be the wealthiest man in the world, so he's really sunk down the list quite a bit. And then we have, right at the end, making up the 5th position, is Larry Page, 203 billion. It's hard to say that he is in last place of the wealthiest people when you've got 203 billion to your name. But there you go. That is the 5 richest men. What do you see when you look at that board? And do you see immorality or morality, or you don't see anything at all?
People that have
do they have things in common?
Immense value in the world is what I see.
On that thought, stay with us because we want to hear from you. Is Elon Musk's $500 billion fortune immoral? Let's get straight into your calls then on whether Elon Musk's $500 billion fortune is immoral. Sally from Bedfordshire, what's your view on this one?
Yes, hello there. My view is that society has produced Elon Musk and his success. He's obviously a very capable businessman, and he's reaped the benefits of that success. Now, with his great wealth, I imagine he's having a great lifestyle, but alongside that, he is providing jobs, workplaces, investing. He is a person that is a mover and shaker in his expertise of his developments. So, and society have put him in that position because we work with him, we buy from him, he produces products for us. So, this is the situation, and we shouldn't shun somebody like that because alongside society supporting and working from him, society also stops any vast corruption as to a person that wouldn't would be behaving detrimental to people could be hindered
Sally's
through.
absolutely right. So what Sally's just done there, she's perfectly described the beauty of capitalism. The beauty of capitalism is nobody in the world has to give any of these people money.
You're absolutely right.
Nobody has to give them any money. Nobody has to give any of their companies money. But we choose to because the products and the services are fantastic. So as an individual in a capitalist free market economy, I can make the choice to give money to Elon Musk by purchasing a product
or
of his.
Tesla or
So there are
whatever.
great things about capitalism. I don't think we need to make this an argument about capitalism. There's also something very good about democracy. And if you think about what these guys have managed to spend their money on, it's often buying up politicians. So Elon Musk, for example, Trump's biggest backer. What does he do with his money? He says, you know what, being rich, having Twitter, having SpaceX isn't enough. What I want to do is transform politics. So what does he do? He buys Twitter, he makes it X. I think a big reason why the far right are on the rise in the UK at the moment is because he had the money to buy that platform, then boost a load of fake news, boost Tommy Robinson and the like. So I think having our politics so dominated by people who are this rich,
But
which
this also happens on the
inevitably
left.
will be if they can buy up political parties.
There are people like
then
George
that's a big
Soros
danger.
who do fund a lot of left-wing
I think he
groups.
shouldn't be as rich as he is.
All right, I want to hear from more viewers because we're getting a lot of calls on this. Sally, thank you very much for your call. Diane from Northumberland, what's your view when it comes to, well, not nearly, but halfway to $1 trillion? Is that too much money?
Yes, that is definitely too much money.
But, I mean, like Sally says, we gave them it.
Well, I didn't.
And that's great. That's the beauty of choice.
I couldn't afford to.
All right, well, global society has given them that sort of money. Are we to blame?
I don't start in this world thinking about the people on the bottom end of the ladder instead of always thinking about the people on the top. I have worked all my life, the last 30 years, in school catering, which is a damned hard job. Mm-hmm. I'm suffering now because all my joints are wrecked. I wouldn't imagine his joints will be wrecked by hard work. I have a lousy pension, and I've got that every time that's come on the telly, they're going to put this up, they're going to put that up. And then we've got the wonderful water board who get bonuses for polluting our rivers.
Okay, we're bringing in a lot of debates here. That's a whole discussion in and of itself, Diane. But you make a point. By making these people wealthier, and these people are getting wealthier and wealthier and wealthier because money makes money, somebody else has to be getting poorer.
No, that's not true. That is
okay, go
not
on, tell
true.
me how that doesn't work.
There is not a fixed amount of wealth, ever. We can continue growing and growing and growing. It is not true
but there is
that
a finite
these
amount
people's
of
wealth,
resources.
No, there isn't. We build more, we create more, we grow more. Absolutely not. There is not a fixed amount of wealth. Somebody else's success is not to your detriment. That is a falsehood that is often being propagated by people that want redistribution. You don't need the poor to get poorer. That is the point. What we want is for everybody to get wealthier, and that is only possible through free exchange.
I think it's important to, because these numbers can just seem like numbers. $1 trillion, $1 billion, what does it mean?
Really does. I look at them and just don't understand
This
them.
is something I was looking at this morning. So if you've got £1 million, so imagine spending £1,000 every day. That's the lifestyle you can imagine. If you've got £1 million, it takes you 3 years to spend £1,000 every day. If you've got £1 billion, it takes you 2,740 years to spend £1,000 every day. So that's back to the Bronze Age. If you've got 500 billion, it would take you 1.37 million years to spend £1,000 every day. That's longer than human beings
So
have
what's your
existed.
point, Michael? It's a lot of money.
So the point is, this is immoral. This is more money than anyone could ever want to spend. If we want to incentivise these people to get rich, let them get 100 million. Don't let them get 500 million.
But why do you want there to be this cap, Michael? That makes zero sense whatsoever.
One, because they can buy up democracies. They can buy up our politics.
As I've just said,
also,
people on the left do the same thing. George Soros funds huge groups across the world.
This isn't about left-right. This is about should rich people be able to buy politics. I don't think George Soros should be able to either.
OK, then let's restrict campaign funding. Let's ensure that we can have a clearer, transparent democracy. Let's not take away these hard-working people's money.
Who lobbies to stop having campaign finance reform? It's the very rich.
I only have 30 seconds left. When I look at this image, I see a similar sort of person. I don't see a huge amount of diversity there in the wealthiest people in the world who have huge influence. We all agree. Is that an issue?
No, I don't think so, because it shouldn't be about what they look like. It should be about how much they've achieved. And all of those people have achieved incredible success for the world. All of these people give millions to charities and help millions of people across the world, giving them jobs and employment.
I think it's a little bit offensive to say that these people have earned, in their hard work, the right to have 1 billion times more money than some of the people who are calling.
But they, by definition, have, Michael.
Well, that's all we have time for, unfortunately.